All right, Dolphins fans, you guys feeling better yet after that Christmas Day loss to the Packers? Are we doing better? No? Yeah, me either. But believe it or not, we're still here and we're talking playoff scenarios, playoff seeding. Because as of Monday, following that Dolphins Packers game, we still have a better than 50-50 chance of making it, 67% chance of still making the playoffs. So we're going to talk those scenarios out. We're going to talk about potential seeding. But man, before we get into that, you look at that game against the Packers. If we win that, then we're not really talking about just trying to sneak in and make our way in. We're talking about seeding at that point in time. If we can go ahead, beat the Packers, win the next two, then you've got the great opportunity of maybe getting up to that 5 seed, because everyone wants that 5 seed, because what comes with it, not that any playoff game is a shoe-in or an easy matchup per se, but it's the easiest. It's likely going to be the winner of the AFC South, which you've got the Jaguars and you've got the Titans. So everyone wants that 5th seed. But here we are after that loss. We're basically talking scenarios now where we can get in. There's a chance that we'll talk about here with the 5th seed, but now we just want to make it in. 6th seed, 7th seed, whatever it is. But I want to hear from you before we get started talking about those scenarios. How do you think the last 2 weeks are going to shake out? What do you think is in store for the Miami Dolphins and the playoffs for this season? Let me know ahead. Go ahead. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. But let's get started talking about these scenarios, because the simplest scenario is right there. It's still for the taking. It's something that the Dolphins have complete control over. Week 17, you win in New England. Week 18, you come back home. You got a game against the Jets, and it's a win and in. That's the simplest. Win both, you're guaranteed a spot. Now we look at these opponents. Beat the Patriots week 1. We lost to the Jets while Tua was out, and that was that game where Bridgewater got hurt on the first play, had to play with Skylar Thompson. I would expect to say that the week 18 matchup would be quite a bit different this time. And now we did get news, recording this Monday after that Christmas Day loss to the Packers. Mike White's probably going to be the guy. He's cleared to play. They don't want any part of Zach Wilson at this point in time. That game's going to look a whole lot different and could have huge implications. But this is the simplest. This is the guaranteed way Miami can control everything and make it in. Now, here's the scenarios if the Dolphins go 1-1 to close out the season. So obviously, you got the next scenario. Win week 17 at New England, lose week 18 at home against the Jets. Now, in this scenario, Miami would still get a spot in the playoffs if the Jets lose at Seattle in week 17. Now, you look at the Seahawks, Geno Smith, a bit of a surprise to start the season. You go into the season thinking, this team is going to have a rough year. They might be in contention for the number 1 overall pick in the draft when it's all said and done. But they surprise us. But what's been happening lately? They're 7-8. They're not mathematically eliminated. They're going to be playing hard as well. But they're in the same boat the Dolphins have right now. They've lost 3 in a row, including 5 of their last 6. So it'd be nice to just take care of business on our end. But let's look at the other 1-1 scenario, because that would include losing at week 17 to the Patriots, which would mark 5 straight losses for the Miami Dolphins. But then you're winning week 18 against the Jets. Now, the Dolphins make it in this specific scenario if the Patriots if the Patriots beat the Dolphins week 17, but then they lose to the Bills week 18, Miami would still make it in if they're able to beat the Jets in week 18. And now you look at the Bills. It's always like, end of the season, what have you got to play for? Well, they're 12-3, obviously one of the best teams in the league, but odds are they're likely going to be playing everything in that week 18 matchup, because remember now, only one team from each conference is getting that first round bye, and obviously home field advantage throughout the playoffs, as long as you're in it, comes along with that. So you got the Kansas City Chiefs, who are right there with the Bills at 12-3. So I expect both of these teams to be all in, working for that bye, working for that home field advantage. Now, let's put it out this way. There is no scenario where the Miami Dolphins can go 0-2 and make the playoffs. And I don't think that we would want that anyways. If we go 0-2 week 17 and 18 here, that would mark 6 straight losses entering the playoffs. No chance. So that's out the window right now. We've essentially come to the point where we started 8-3 and we've lost too many in a row now. So the little cushion that we built is essentially gone. You cannot go 0-2 and make the playoffs. So ideally, we win them both, guarantee it in, or you win one and you get help. Now, here are those seeding scenarios. We can get the 5 seed, that coveted 5 seed, but it is not likely. You got to win your final 2. The Ravens got to lose their final 2. and the Chargers got to lose 2 of 3. So I'm recording this on Monday. They play Monday night. The Ravens are home against the Steelers, and they're at the Bengals. The Chargers have the Colts tonight versus the Rams at Denver week 18. So it's not super likely to earn that 5 seed. Like I said, which likely comes in with that game against the Titans or the Jaguars. That's the ideal matchup. Our most likely opponents, if you get that 6 or the 7 seed, is either going to be the Bills, the Chiefs, Bengals, or Ravens at that point in time. Now, to wrap this up, Miami could still technically get the 6 seed a few different ways if they win both of the games. So if you win week 17, week 18, the 6 seed is still in play. However, there's only one way they can get it if they win one of those 2. Not very likely. Chargers lose their last 3, like I said, at Colts versus Rams, at Broncos. Once again, not super likely. But that's where we currently sit as of Monday following that Dolphins-Packers game in regards to playoff scenarios and potential playoff seeding. But like I said, I want to hear from you. How do you have those final 2 games sorting out? How do you see the Dolphins faring in the AFC playoff picture? I want to hear from you. Drop those thoughts in the comments. If you haven't gotten subscribed yet, make sure you are doing so. I will be back again tomorrow with our weekly stock up and stock down. Got my entire week of preview videos that's going to be going up leading up to that Patriots game. Plus, I've got some time here with the holidays. I'm hoping to sneak in a couple additional videos as well. But that is what I've got for today, Miami Dolphins fans. And until next time, fins up.